what are some of the reasons why you would conduct a learning needs analysis? And why do I keep talking about it? Well, imagine you've created training, you've got to the end, and then something has changed with the coding, with the user interface, and you're thinking, okay, this training can work for now, but when we have onboarding and we have newcomers, we need to make sure that they have the correct interface that they see. Because it could have implications on the selections made in the system, the money we'll receive from clients, how a job is done, how a service is implemented. So you decide, okay, let's go back into the learning and make the changes. Go back into this learning and you find you've got screenshots after screenshots. You've got lots of videos. You've got closed captions that need changing. You've done some language translation. And then you think to yourself, right, this is supposed to be a quick job where we just go in, change that screenshot or what have you, and a little blurb, and that's it. One day's work. Wouldn't take long, would it? Well, if you have a video that has closed captions, has translation, has a voiceover, you can't very well just add in that little bit of a voiceover unless you're using AI, which you should be. And you have to remember the character you used, the country that character was from, the timing that you used. Was it 0.1 or 0.15 or 0.2? What was the speed? What was the pitch? You need to make sure you're saving all of those settings. Most people don't. And then you've got to think of the different countries, the different translations, whether you need to make adjustments to that. Is there a cost implication in getting a person, or even if you're using software, you still have to go in, correct the video or the document, etc. So I say that to say this: a learning needs analysis addresses all of these things, like what country they're from, whether there are any translation needs, what is the best medium, are your learners mainly visual, audio, auditory, read, write, kinesthetic. Then you have to identify your accessibility, because next year the accessibility, there's a law, an act coming in. Let me just look it up. Accessibility. So the compliance in the, I think it's the EU, not just the UK, the EU, European Accessibility Act, which is compulsory in 2025. So you need to be ready for that as well. So it will be implemented in 2025. I wonder if I flip the screen. Yep, and I'll show you on the screen. It says, so the European Accessibility Act, EAA, and we need to be planning for that for 2025. And when this will, and you have to make sure, I keep mentioning the WCAG standards, so they change, from year to year based on where we are. So we're up to 2.1 now, and it's a robust legislation for the private sector. Yeah, but I think the public sector as well have it in each of their governments, the WCAG standards. So, right, implementation by July the 28th, 2025. So when I am talking about accessibility, I'm talking about planning, I'm talking about making sure you have your documentation in place. It's the E9301549 in relation to the EAA. So when I talk about these things and people or companies or businesses simply brush it off as unimportant, don't worry, we'll deal with it. What you do not realize is that when you come to that point and you're not ready, the implications of legal action is real. So to remain compliant, also to satisfy the people that work for you so they bring in the most money that you could possibly make, it's a return on investment. You will need to look at the ways that you plan to deliver training and how you deliver training, even your information, because you have to think not only of training people now, you also sorry, you also have to think of in the future onboarding new staff members, and you may have staff members, you will have staff members that are either dyslexic or have Asperger's or have, there's a lot more people that now have ADHD as adults and their focus is all over the place. And you need to understand that in order to get the best from your clients, now these people are not disabled, they just learn in a different way. And they have what is called a learning disability, a different style of learning that resonates with them and makes things stick. And this is really important if you are selling a premium offer to clients out there. Now, I understand as a business owner myself that sometimes the software that you use has a cost implication. So you will have to include it in the cost of your offers. You can't then go to your clients and say, right, you have to pay this per month or whatever. You can run a subscription, but if it gets too expensive for a person, they'll cancel on you and then you start losing customers. Okay, you'll get more, but that's not what it's about. How successful are you in your training? I am Janice Weir-Germia, the training success coach. Let me help you get there and let me help you do it better for your business and return on investment. I look forward to hearing from you. Book a call.